WeRiseMag.com.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Thank you for this time.
My pleasure,
It's
my
a
pleasure.
pleasure to finally meet you.
And you are?
Rob.
Rob, nice to meet you, man. Thank you.
So you come to a lot of cons, you go to a lot of cons,
I do.
and you enjoy the bigger cons?
I enjoy every con. I mean, I enjoy conventions because I enjoy meeting the fans.
Yes.
And whether it's a convention of 1,000 people or 30,000 people, I still get the opportunity to meet the fans, and I really enjoy it. So no matter the size.
Yeah, it's great to hear. Like, you know, people go to the cons to meet the fans. The VAs go. When was like one of the first times that you realized like I really made it as a voice actor?
Wow. Well, there were two. I guess maybe the first two things that come to mind are there's a big convention in Los Angeles called Anime Expo.
Yes.
For many, many years, Anime Expo had guests of honor from Japan. Never guests of honor from America. Even though, like, LA is like, you know, a big hub of anime recording, all of their American guests were always industry guests, is what they called them.
Okay.
They were never GOHs, American. All the GOHs were from Japan, Japanese. About 7 years ago, Anime Expo, which, by the way, is the largest anime convention in the country, decided that it was time to have American guests of honor, and I had the privilege to be their first American guest of honor, along with Laura Bailey, and it was quite a privilege, obviously, and that was one thing that I was like, wow, how cool is that, you know, all these other people working in this industry, and I had the chance to be their first guest of honor, American guest of honor. The other thing probably was when a few years, well, probably 5 years ago, the industry organized an American Anime Awards that they held online for fans to vote favorite, and it was very much like the Oscars. They had different categories for different things, and the finals were held in New York City at New York Comic Con, and I was a finalist as male lead actor for Fullmetal and for Macross. Actually, it was for 2 shows. And I was nominated with Johnny Bosch and Yuri Lowenthal and, you know, respected friends of mine. And I had the privilege to win Best Voice Actor for those series. And they only did the one American Anime Awards. It never really caught on as a yearly thing. Okay. But it was an incredible privilege. I was very, very humbled and privileged, honored to be for that as well. But over the years, I never really imagined that this course would ever, you know, that would ever pan out the way it has. Yeah. When I started in anime, it was very small, and I just did it because it was a lot of fun. You know, it seemed like a fun thing to do. You know, I like acting. It's acting. Why not? And never imagined anything would ever come of it. So to see how big it has become, and you know, last week I was in Colorado Springs at a dinosaur museum with my family. Yeah. And I walked up to the counter to buy the admission tickets, and the girl behind the counter went, "Are you Vic Mignogna?" Like, yeah. "Oh my God, I love you. I love your work." Really? I was in a dinosaur museum in Colorado Springs. You know what I mean? It was a convention. I wasn't wearing anything. You know what I mean? There was no giveaway. And that's been like the 5th or 6th time in just the last several months that somebody somewhere, completely unrelated, just out in public, recognized me for some reason. And it's really weird because as a voice actor, you know, you don't expect anyone to recognize you really. Yeah. And for the most part, they don't. But occasionally somebody will, and it's nice, of course, but it's really, to me, it's very humbling. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, I mean, it's really, you never really expect that. I never really expect that. So,
How do you not let it get to your head? Like, you know, I think people, when they start getting recognized, are, oh yeah, here I am, you know.
That's right, it's me. Yes, it is me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a good answer for that. Yeah. You want to hear it?
Yes, I would.
I've said several times in convention, in Q&A sessions at conventions like this, had I achieved the level of recognition that I have now when I was 25, I'd be the biggest ass you ever met. I would think it was all about me. I would be so full of myself, you know what I mean? And it would be the biggest ego trip of all time. But I think the fact that I am twice that age, and God in his wisdom knew not to give me that kind of notoriety at a time in my life where I would have made it all about me. He waited until I'm the age that I am now. And now, at my age, I see whatever celebrity or fame I have as an opportunity to be a positive encouragement to kids and to be a role model to people who are going through difficult times. And trust me, Rob, there are thousands of them, and they write me, and I write them back, and many times it has absolutely nothing to do with anime. It's about their parents fighting, or them getting bullied at school, or them wanting to commit suicide, or their grandmother dying, or parents divorcing, or somebody in a car accident, any of a number of different things. And I've been given this unique privilege because of work that I've done, characters that I've played that got them through a difficult time, or because of my faith and my expression of my faith and the way I communicate to fans, the things that I've said in Q&A sessions that are online, in videos, whatever, music that I've written and produced. I have this opportunity to be of positive encouragement and to be some sort of a role model to people that are going through difficult times.
Yeah, that's great.
When I was 25, I would have never seen that. I would have thought it was all about me. And now, because I've achieved whatever level of notoriety that I have at the age that I'm at, I see it completely differently. I see it as an opportunity to be of value to others.
That's good. So
that's what I try to keep in mind, you know, to keep anything from going to my head.
Excellent. Really quickly, since the last question, Star Trek Renegades.
Nice, good for you. Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, several people came together and wanted to create a pilot episode to pitch a new series. It's called Star Trek Renegades. It features a lot of well-known actors, including Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov in the original series. Takes place probably 50 or 60 years after the original series. And they approached me to play a role in it.
Excellent.
Clearly because of my fanatical love of Star Trek, you know, and you know, my acting background, and hopefully because of my anime tie-in, I can bring a lot of fans to, you know, to interested in Renegades because of that. So I'll be honest with you, I don't know a great deal. I know that the character that I'm going to play will be heavily prosthetic makeup based. It'll be an alien because, of course, now that I'm playing Captain Kirk and Star Trek Continues, I can't be bouncing around in Renegades, you know, as just a guy. So they're like, hey, you know, we'd love you to be a part of it, but we want you to play this like alien bad guy. I'm like, yeah, bring it on. Yeah, that sounds fun. Excellent. So I don't know where they are in development. They're supposed to. They're saying they want to shoot in the fall, which incidentally is when we're going to be shooting our next Star Trek Continues episode. But I don't know much more than that right now. I hope it pans out. Sounds like fun.
How is Star Trek Continues doing?
Great. It's going gangbusters.
Excellent.
I mean, it's only been online 7 or 8 weeks, and it's got 500,000 views.
Wow. Amazing.
It's getting huge positive reviews and feedback everywhere.
Awesome.
I'm very, very, very gratified and pleased with the way it's being received, and we're just real excited to do more episodes.
Great.
You just need to find some good stories.
It's exciting. I'm sure you can do it.
I hope so.
Do you have
You'd
a
be
lot of
surprised.
fans come in and say, "Oh, you should do a story about"?
Yeah,
blah, blah?
and you know what? It's a sad truth, Rob, but when I started this, I thought to myself, as soon as we release our first episode, people are going to come out of the woodwork with all of these great story ideas, right?
Yeah.
We even held a script contest, and we got like 40 or 50 script submissions. And you know what? They're missing something that the original series of Star Trek had. It's its own special thing.
Yeah.
Every Star Trek episode, original series, had a point. They had a theme. They had some deeper moral, ethical dilemma, or some deeper moral, ethical quandary, or a point to make. And so many stories we've gotten. Captain Kirk beamed down to the planet, and the Klingons are there, and they fight the Klingons.
For no reason.
What's the point? What's
Yeah,
the point?
yeah.
Mr. Spock gets kidnapped by Romulans. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, where's the deeper social commentary, or the morality play, or the ethical dilemma?
I think most television back then did have that,
They
regardless
did.
of what.
And people think
where it
they're
was.
writing Star Trek because
Yeah.
they're writing about Captain Kirk and Mr.
Yeah,
Spock.
yeah.
But all they're writing are like fan stuff, like beaming down, or firing a phaser, or flipping open a communicator, or fighting the Klingons, or whatever. That's cool. But we want to tell deeper stories than that, which means that we're having a much more difficult time finding those stories than you would think.
Well, good luck on that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. It's
been
a
a
pleasure to me.
pleasure.
I'm sorry I didn't get the privilege to join you guys last night.
Yeah.
But maybe some other time.
Yes, definitely.
I would love
I
it.
hope so.
WeRiseMag.com.